loving the rest in peace, R.I.P, coffin, gothic, vampire-esque kind of vibe that's going on here. We are about to rip into this reaction. This is R.I.P, aka Rest in Peace, from Motionless in White, and this is featuring Skylar Grey. And this was absolutely lovely, from the setting to the costumes to the vocals. Absolutely lovely. And we're about to jump into it. But before we do, just a friendly reminder to please like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get into it.
If you ever leave, it would be the end of me. I would die, but I'd never rest in peace. I'd never sleep without you buried next to me. I would die, but I'd never rest in peace. I'd never rest in.
What's meant to be or meant to break has got to be decided. A requiem to seal our fate has yet to be recited. Was all this suffering just a waste? If emptiness fills the spaces, the bond has reached the bone. So if love is pain, then twist the blade and never let me go. If you ever leave, it would be the end of me.
Little bits of compression in there.
But I'd never rest in peace. I'd never sleep without you buried next to me. I would die, but I'd never rest in peace. I'll never rest in peace.
Okay, right off the bat, I love the aesthetic of this. It's very like gothic, vampire imagery and costumes and setting, and it's just love it. I love a good gothic moment. It's gorgeous. And the whole, like, because they start off on the coffins too, which is kind of, you know, kind of vampire-esque. Even Chris has like I saw one of his rings was like a little coffin-shaped, like obsidian-looking stone, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool ring. So anyways, loving the rest in peace, R.I.P, coffin, gothic, vampire-esque kind of vibe that's going on here. Or even just like, yeah. I'm getting like Victorian gothic vampire vibes, and I really like it. I love how, well, obviously we have Skylar Grey in this video. So we have the back and forth between Skylar and Chris, and both of them have absolutely gorgeous voices, but they are lovely together. And it's so cool because Chris has been doing quite a few collaborations, because recently he also did one with Corey Taylor. I'm sure there's more that I am unaware of, but it's just cool. Like, collaborations are always so interesting because you're kind of melding two artists' styles and creating this in a you know, a new kind of piece. Not a new piece, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, you take the two styles of the artists and you bring them together and you create something that isn't necessarily, I mean, if you look at songs like A Werewolf and stuff like that from Chris, I mean, you could probably be in the same vibes. But anyways, I love when you bring two artists together and they smush their styles together. Another thing I wanted to mention, which was pretty fun to add, and it was just like a little moment, but when you get to verse 1 with Chris, Was all this suffering just a waste if emptiness fills the spaces? And when he says spaces, it literally like sucks all the air out of the room and all the music kind of stops for a moment and then it kicks back in, which is literally adding that space, that emptiness into the music and not just the lyrics. Looking at the song as what we have it right now in terms of lyrics, I think it's pretty obvious kind of what they're singing about and what they're feeling, and this feeling of there's like two feelings going on. So it's, if you ever leave, it would be the end of me. I think kind of spells it out, you know. I would die, but I'd never rest in peace unless you're next to me. So talking about this person that you don't want to live without and you want to be with forever. But then you also have this other side, which, if love is pain, then twist the blade and never let me go. So it's not an easy love, you know, that's going on. It sounds like it's a painful one, but it's worth it. You know, it's worth. And I mean, if you really think about it, like, love is not easy. It really isn't. And it can be painful, you know, like, absolutely it can. And it doesn't mean that the relationship isn't worth it just because it's not easy, because real love never is easy. Because whether it's, you know, everyone is an individual with their own baggage and trauma and things to work through, and bring that into a relationship, it's a lot of work together and individually. And then obviously as you get older, as time goes by, you change. And so when you're with that person for a long amount of time, it's like you have to get to know the new version of the person you're with and, you know, accept and love and, you know, support that person and vice versa. But also it's work. It's work. So, but I mean, obviously you don't want it to be like toxic painful, but I just mean that love is not easy. But we are going to continue and see where they take us. Sorry for the TED Talk. I love how the band members were in the stained glass. So it's like they're in two parallel.
Never
Okay, so not necessarily parallel universes. I think it was literally they were, or maybe, I mean, maybe parallel universes, but it was kind of like they were both singing this song to the other person because they weren't able to rest in peace because they were searching for each other. And then at the end, they are like, holy, there you are. And then they were able to rest in peace, and then they were holding hands. It's very lovely. All that compression from Chris, beautiful. I don't know if it was like, because I don't know if I've ever actually seen Skylar Grey, but I've listened to Skylar Grey. I feel like Skylar Grey has done a lot of collaborations with people, and those collaborations, I feel like they've blown up. But I feel like I haven't listened to a lot of Skylar Grey, just Skylar Grey. So I'd be interested to go down that rabbit hole because she has an absolutely gorgeous voice. So, and yeah, she also penned freaking Eminem's "Love the Way You Lie," which again, insane. So I think I'd like to go down that rabbit hole. Let me know if you also want to go down that rabbit hole. But in regards to this music video, absolutely lovely. I think it's that everlasting love, pun intended, because it has that like vampire gothicness to it. The vocals, of course, were gorgeous, and I love also the punniness of, you know, rest in peace, R.I.P. The fact that it was gothic vampire coffins, you know, all that really tied together really well. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you cute patooties in the next one. Bye, y'all.